Hello and welcome to iTech. My name is Akshay, and as I have told you in the previous part of this tutorial series that we will continue overloading in C Sharp. So we will see today what is operator overloading, as well as we will see object equality and object identity. So there is one phenomena, that is object equality and object identity, that we will see. So first of all, operator overloading, just like methods and constructor, we can overload operators as well, but there are several operators, that is predefined operators, that only we can overload in C Sharp, and the remaining operators that we cannot. And whatever operators right now mentioned here, all these operators we can overload them. Okay, so that is arithmetic operators like these and relational operators like these. So we can overload them into C Sharp. So now what is arithmetic operators, relational operators, and every other operators that are the common operators we use in C Sharp, that we use often in C Sharp. So that all the operators we have seen in operators in C Sharp tutorial. So that is in this tutorial series itself. So if you guys have not watched that, so watch that first, so you will be understand what are the operators, what are the various operators we use in C Sharp. Okay, so coming back to operator overloading, so what it says, changing the functionality of a predefined operator is called as operator overloading in C Sharp. We can overload some of the predefined operators as follows. So as I have already told you, these many operators we can overload them in the C Sharp. Okay, so let's just see everything into an action. Okay, so for that, let me take a fresh class here. I will take a class name as a test, and let me have some fields here, like private int value 1. Okay, so I will explain you why I am taking these fields as well, don't worry about that. And I will take one constructor which will initialize our fields. So we know how to take constructor that will have a same name as of a class name, and that can be parameterized or parameterless, but at this time I will take parameterized constructor, value 1 and int value 2. So whatever integer values coming into our constructor, that we want to initialize to our fields. So to vary between our fields and what coming from this constructor, I will use this keyword, and we know we use this keyword to refer to a current object of the type. So that we have also learned in the previous tutorials, in one of the previous tutorials of this series. If you guys not have watched that, just please check that video first, so you will understand better. And I will initialize this like this, value 2 is equal to value 2. Okay, and I have to take that correctly, that's why it was throwing an error. Okay, so now it is good to go. So now what I will do, I will make an object of this class is equal to test t is equal to new test, and we know we have a constructor which is taking two parameters, that is values. So let me give any hard-coded value right now, because we already know how to take input from user, so we will not waste time in that. So I just want to show you what is operator overloading, so that's why we will give values by ourselves only. Okay, and let's say I want to add these numbers. Okay, nothing but add these numbers. So for that, let's just take another method in here, that is public void addition of two numbers, like this, and here we will print that directly onto the console. So console.writeLine, and before that, let me just take one result variable here of type integer, because we know addition will be in int only. So whatever value 1 that will be coming into this constructor, I want to add that with value 2, that whatever it will be coming from this constructor. So we know we are initializing that to our fields. So now our fields holding that values, whatever values coming from this constructor. So we have learned everything in previous videos. Okay, I am repeating again and again. If you guys have not previous videos, so please watch the previous videos of this tutorial series first, so in order to understand this concept better. And now what I will do, we know we have a method that is addition of two numbers, and we will call that here in a main method, sorry, and we will call that in our main method. So now if I run, okay, so I have not put that result into console, so that's why it has printed nothing. Okay, so we have to put that result into this console, and let me give some meaningful message here, that is addition of numbers, like this, and we have to concatenate that to the string. We have learned string concatenation as well in this tutorial series, so please check that out also if you guys not aware about this thing. And as a beginner you guys should know these basic things, so that is why. Okay, so it is printing our message, that is our addition. Okay, so 10 plus 20 is 30, because we have passed that value hard coded in here in this constructor. Okay, so this 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. So now this is a very simple example of addition of two number, and for that what operator we have used? We have used plus operator. So now, I want to tell you that now this plus operator, we can use this operator, plus operator, that is a predefined operator with value type only, or what we can say, we can use them only with built-in types. Okay, as well as we can say non-user definable types. So we know string is a reference type, but that is non-user definable. We cannot define a string. Okay, like class we can define. So all that we have learned in previous tutorials. Okay, so you can do something like this. Okay, it will still work. That plus operator with both these two string will work. Okay, but now right now why it is giving an error? Because we are storing that into int. We are storing that into integer. So as soon as I make that string, so it should work. Okay, so basically this plus operator is not giving any error, but this will not work with any reference type, or what we can say a user definable type. So for that I will show you that. Let me make that as it was before. So what I wanted to tell you, what if you, okay, so let me give an example. What if we have any another class? Okay, so let me take another class right here, class, and let's take a class name as a triangle. So why I am giving that name? Because I will tell you that, let's say we have a requirement of calculating area of a triangle. Okay, and for that we know what we need for area of triangle: private int breadth and one field that is height. So that will be in an integer. So we will take an example, very simple example, that is int only, or what we can say, or what we can do, let's just take this as a double. Okay, so there will be easy to type casting from int to double or float to double, because that is upcasting. Okay, so and now again we know there will be a constant value, and that also we have learned in static and instance member variable. Why we make our field as a static? So what type of fields we make static in our class or in our program, that won't be changed in the entire run of a program. So we know what is the area of triangle. Area of triangle is 1 by 2 into breadth into height. So 1 by 2, that will be any constant. We will consider that as a constant, and we know that will not gonna change in an entire program run. Okay, why this error? Because we have not provided any return type till now. Okay, so that will be in double. Okay, so as soon as I make that double, the error is gone. And now we know what is the area of a triangle: half into breadth into height. So that constant will not gonna change for in entire run of the program, and we have learned that in previous tutorials. So please check that out in order to understand this better, that is what is static instance, static member and instance member. Okay, so but for now what is my goal to show you. Let me take a constructor here, and after that I will tell you what I am doing, so don't worry. Let me take a constructor like this, and we know whatever value we will be providing value for the breadth and the height, but we know constant value will not gonna change, that will be same. And what will be the value? We know that will be 1 by 2, that is for 0.5. so that will be the value always. You will not gonna change that, or it will not gonna change, because that is a fixed value. So then that is why we make that as a static. Okay, and we know we will gonna provide a value for breadth as well as value for height. So that is why let me take parameters that will be coming from here. Let me take as a b for a breadth, and let me take another parameter for height, that is h, like this, and we will make those parameters stored into our fields like this. This dot height is equal to h, so whatever is coming from that. Okay, all right. So now we know we have to calculate area of this triangle. So let me take one method that will calculate our area of a triangle. Public void area of a triangle. Let me make that spelling correctly. Triangle. Okay. Okay. And what we will do, we will take one result that will be in a double, because we know that will return us, or we know we are calculating area of a triangle, the values will be in double. So that is why result is equal to that constant, and we know that constant will not going to change, into breadth into height, that we will be passing from the constructor in this program. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now let me create constructor let me create object for that. Let me get rid of this for now, we don't need this, as well as I will get rid of this class. That class I have created to only show you the simple addition and what is the difference between simple plus operator and the user defined plus operator. So that is why, so I will show you that, don't worry about that. Triangle T is equal to new triangle, and we know we have to pass breadth and height. Let me pass 15 and 20. Okay, and we know we have a method which can calculate that area of a triangle. Okay, and now if I print this, and for that we know we are taking this method as a void, so we will print here itself, because it will not going to return anything. So we have to print that here itself. Console.writeLine and area of a triangle is whatever that result, whatever the values that the result will get, and I will pass that here and I will run this. Okay, area of a triangle is 150. Now I want to show you how we can overload a plus operator to do some extraordinary, or which it is not defined already. So we have to define that plus operator to do something extra. And what is that extra? Let me show you that. Let's say we will create another object of a triangle itself. New triangle is equal to 20 and 50. I will pass 50. Okay, let me pass 5 only. Okay, because that will be a very bigger number. And let me take another object, and I will show you that why I am doing this. Okay, and let me make that T1, this T2, and let me make that this as a T equals. Now what I want to do, I want to calculate area of this triangle for this object and area of triangle for this object, but I want addition of both this area of triangle. That is, I want addition of area of triangle T1 and area of triangle T2. So something like this. If I do something like this, T1 plus T2, so it should give me addition of both the areas of triangle. Okay, but that is not possible because this predefined plus operator is not defined to do so. What it says, operator plus cannot be applied to operand of type triangle and triangle because it is an user definable type. It is a reference type as well as a user definable type. So this plus operator will not work in this case. But what if you want to do that? So at that time we can overload this operator, this plus operator, to make to do our work. So what I want to do, I want to overload this operator. So for that, what I can do, let me take a method, and that should be static. So why, I will tell you that. And to overload an operator, you have to take prefix as an operator like this, okay, and you have to overload an operator that is plus like this. And again keep in mind, whatever operator you want to overload or whatever operator that is overloadable in C#, you have to pass the first parameter as the type which it is containing in. So let me make that simple. We have a type triangle, and this method, whatever operator overloading method we will be taking here, that is under this type, this triangle type. So that should be your first parameter. Otherwise it will give us an error, and I will show you that. Okay, let me take integer value here, integer A, integer B, and what it says, let me show you that what it says. And also I have to take return type. So I know that will return object, nothing but this, whatever this addition, we are storing that into an object. So that will gonna return object to us. So for that, let me make that type as a triangle, that is return type as a triangle. And again, what this error says, one of the parameter of a binary operator must be a containing type. So that's what I have told you. So that should be a containing type, that is whatever you take first parameter, that should be a containing type, and then it will not give us any error. So right now what we want to do, we want to take two objects, and we want addition of both these two objects, area of a triangle, and we have to store that into a one another object. So that's we want to do. And for that, let me take another triangle and obj2, and let me make object here. We have to do that. Why, I will tell you that. Let me take the name as obj, new triangle. And now what we want, and for that let me take one another field, and what that will be, and we have to make that public. Let me take one property, because then it will be very easy. And don't worry, we will learn properties in very great detail, so that I have told you in previous tutorials as well, so don't worry. But for that, let me take one property here, that is double, and property name will be area of a triangle. Okay, or let's say area of a triangle only, and let me make that correctly. Okay, and we know we have this property. So now what I have done, I have created object of this triangle, and we know why this is giving an error, because we have a parameterized constructor defined in our type. So that is why we have to pass some values here, but in this case we don't want to pass any values. So what we can do at that case, so we have learned constructor overloading in our previous tutorial itself. So if you guys have not watched that, watch that. Okay, so you will understand. So we know we can overload a constructor. So we want one parameterless constructor. And why compiler will not provide any parameterless constructor? Because that also we have learned, if you pass any constructor in your class, then compiler will not gonna provide any constructor. That is a default constructor. So that is why we have to explicitly provide this constructor. Okay, so it has one reference. Why? Because we have created this object here like this. So now what we want whenever somebody do something like this, whenever somebody create an object and they want addition of both of these objects area of a triangle, and they will gonna do something like this. So t1 plus t2 should be here, t2. So in that case it should give an addition of both the area of triangle, and for that what I can do, we know object has area of a triangle. Area of a triangle as a property, and this area of a triangle is a method name, nothing but a method name. So we will change that to make some variation between our property and method. Area, calculate area of triangle. Okay, this should be like something like this. Now what we can do here, whatever object 1 having an area of a triangle, that is calculated area of a triangle, and we will store that into this area of triangle. So don't worry about that. What I will do, plus obj2 dot area of a triangle. So both this area of triangles addition we want to store in one another object's area of a triangle. So, and we have to return that object and return obj here, and that error will be gone. Okay, so everything is fine. But just one thing I have to do here, that is area of a triangle is equal to constant like this, and we have to pass that area of a triangle. And now what we will do, we come here and we know now the method name is changed. We have changed that method name, that is calculate area of a triangle. So it will calculate area of triangle something like this. So it will be calculated for t1 and it should calculate for t2 as well. Okay, like this. And now we want both this area of triangles addition into one another object like this. T is equal to t1 plus, and this time it should not give us any error, and it will not. Okay, so you have seen it was giving us error before. Now if you hover your mouse here, what it says, what is the definition? It is returning a triangle, that is object, and it is taking two objects, that is of type triangle. So it is nothing but whatever operator we have just overloaded like this. It is nothing but this method. If you comment out this, let me comment that, and you will find it will give us an error. Okay, so that shows that operator we have just overloaded. Because of that it was not giving us any error. So we have overloaded that plus operator. So now this t, now we know this t has an addition of both this triangle. So now how we can print that? Let me take console operation. Let me take console.writeLine and let me pass addition of area of triangles of t1 and t2, and let me make that string, and the result will be in this t dot area of a triangle. Okay, and now we print that. Okay, so area of a triangle of first object, that is 150, and area of a triangle of second object, that is 50, and addition of both this area of triangle that we have stored in some another object, that is 200. So our application is working fine. Okay, so that is how you can overload this plus operator, and there are many operators you can overload in this C#. And we have seen that. So I will not gonna show you every operators, how you can overload every operators in this C#, because that will be a very big video tutorial, and if you guys understand how to overload this plus operator, then you will surely understand how to overload these other operators as well. But let me show you one thing only. Now if you want to overload operators such as equal to, and that will give us an error. So what error it will, I will show you. What it says, the operator triangle operator equal to requires a matching operator that is not equal to also defined. So it is coming in the pair. If you want to overload a equal to operator, you have to overload not equal to operator as well, and that is how the error is gone. So that is nothing but you have to overload these operators, some of these operators, into a pair, and that you will understand whenever you you try to do that by yourself. Okay, so it is not a big deal. And let me show you, there are some of the operators that you cannot operate, that you cannot overload. Something like this question mark, you cannot overload this operator. What it says, overloadable binary operator expected, so it is not overloadable. This ternary operator, so combining these two operators, this is nothing but a ternary operator, and that we have learned in the C# tutorial, in previous tutorials. So what it says, that is overloadable operator expected, so this is also not overloadable. So that is nothing but an operator overloading in C#. Now let's see what is object identity and object equality. Now what it says, that is object identity, two objects are considered to be identical if they refer to the same instance in the memory. Now what does this means? If you really understand the concept of call by reference and call by value, or we can say pass by value or pass by reference, that I have explained in one of the previous tutorial of this tutorial series, then you will understand what is object identity and object equality. So what it says, that is two objects are considered to be identical if they refer to the same instance in the memory. So what does that mean? If you have understood call by value and call by reference, then you will understand this. Now we know, in the case of call by reference, what we have learned, when we pass any value by reference to another variable, then that will be pointing to a same reference, and that will be pointing to a same instance in this object. Okay, so let me show you that in action, so don't worry. And if you guys might be seeing something like this here, we can overload some of the predefined operator as follows, as well as here it is also. So it is nothing but a mistake, so it is coming from this, so that is my mistake, so just ignore that, not a big issue. So let me show you that directly into an action, that is object identity. For that, let me just get rid of everything, and I will keep that class as it is. I will show you that why. Let me only have a single property, that will be a string name. Okay, and what I will do, I will create object of this class triangle T is equal to new test, like this. We have a class name, that is triangle. Okay, so now let me take another object of this same class, triangle T1. Let me make that as a T1 and this as a T2, is equal to new triangle, like this. And let me initialize both the properties of both the objects, and let me make that as Akshay, and let me copy this name, and I will store the same name into this property as well. Now what do you think, are these two objects identical? No, these two objects are not identical. Whether maybe these objects having same contents, that is same data in the memory, but these are not pointing to the same instance of the same instance in the memory. And how I will show you that? If I do something like this, let me take one variable, that is bool check is equal to, we will see are this t1 dot equals t2. Let's see if these two objects are identical or not. So how we can check that? Let me print that console dot write line, and let me print that, and let me give a meaningful message here. Are t1 and t2 identical? Okay. So if it is identical, that will print true, otherwise it will print false, and it will print false. So let me show you that. Okay, are t1 and t2 identical? False. So it is printing false, because we know maybe these are having the same object of these are having the objects of a same type, only same type, that is a triangle, but they have a different instances. So in memory, both these two variable, that is let's consider this as a t1 and this consider as a t2. So both these pointing in the memory to the separate instances. So these are not identical, but in case of this is pointing to a same instance, and that I will show you. Instead of doing something like this, if I do something like this, t1 is equal to t2. So now what I have done, or else what I can do, let me get rid of this, and what I can do, we know we have created that we have created this object, that is t1, and let me store t1 into the object of type triangle, that is the same type, both are the same type, but what we have just done is nothing but pass by reference. We have passed this by reference, we are storing this object into this object. So now both these objects are pointing to the same references in memory, and that I will show you. If I run this, that have printed true. So now it is pointing to the same reference. And there is another method which is present in system.object, that is reference equals. So what this method accepts two object, it accepts two object, and it gives a true or false based on these objects are equal or not. Okay, like this. If I run that, so it will print true, like this. Okay, and now what do you think if I would have done something like this instead of this new triangle? Now we know maybe these are the two objects, but these are the same object of a same type, but they are not identical. Whether they will be equal, having a equal content in their object, having a same data in the object in the memory, but they are not identical to each other. They are not pointing to the same reference. They are not pointing to the same instance. Instead, both these are pointing to the different instance. Like this, both these are having different instances in the memory. That is why this will return false. Okay, so it is printing false, and that is what object identity and object equality is. That is the phenomena of object equality and object identity. So let's just see quickly summary. Operator overloading can only be possible with some of the predefined operators. So as I have already told you, there are only several predefined operators that only we can overload in C#. And second, that is the phenomena of object identity and object equality is related to the phenomena of pass by value and pass by reference, or it is also called as a call by value or call by reference. Okay, so that's it for today, and we will meet in our next part of this tutorial series. Till then, subscribe to this channel, like, comment, share, and feel free to comment in the comment section if you guys don't understand anything. If you guys not have understand anything, just let me know and I will try to solve that. And till then, stay tuned and thank you.